The late 1990s was an interesting time for photographic manufacturers, camera manufacturers, and Nikon had a range of quite good compacts. And this one I'm talking about here is called the One Touch 90 Zoom. Later came the Light Touch, and the Light Touch was the last range of zoom compact cameras. So this is getting towards the end of the era of compact cameras, but not quite. It's nicely made, it's got a nice finish, it's very easy to load, film in here, DX coded, so the camera automatically knows what ISO film speed it is. On top we have an on-off button, nice on-off button there, and we also have a macro, which is slightly unusual. Macro is being able to get close to objects, and we can do that with this. From my memory, the lead is the strap is the distance you can go with a macro, and if you want to do macro you have to switch on the macro. You have a self timer, we have a red eye adjustment. Red eye is where with flash the back of the eye opens and can look slightly red, and the red eye adjustment makes sure there's two flashes, so the eye then closes slightly and you don't see the back of the eye. You have a self timer, as I said there, and we can switch the flash on and off, which is useful if we are in museums, and we have a landscape mode as well there, which again is a useful function because you don't always want flash on your landscapes. It is a nice quality camera to hold, slightly plastically, but the gold finish makes it a nice attractive camera. The design element I think is very nice and cool. The lens is quite quiet. We have a 38 to 90, which is a useful range. It's slightly bigger than the later Light One Touches. It, as I said, has a flash, and that is basically it with this camera. Let's see, and it is just a point and shoot. Let's see how it performed.
So this was taken at Chapman's Pool, which is a wonderful hidden bay in Dorset, and I must say the camera performed very well. I'm using my normal Formapan 100 film, which has been developed in ID11. Now the Light Touch cameras I've had a bit of a mixed bag with, and I wasn't too optimistic about this camera. However, first signs were that it was definitely sharper, and I've got far more usable photographs out of this film, and you can see how sharp it is. It is inclined to take a focus point, as I think it's sort of taken the centre there, and some of the rocks are not quite as sharp as I would like, but this is taken on I think this was on a full zoom, and I do find when you've got a range of zoom from 38 to 90, this is now, we've moved about a bit. I think I've got these photos a bit randomly confused on the film. This is Overcombe Corner, which is at the other end of the Jurassic Coast in Devon, and these steps and this point I've known for many years, and again the sharpness here isn't fantastic, and again I think it's because it was on the far end of the zoom. However, it is far more usable than the Light Touch photographs I did. This is back in Purbeck, St Albans Chapel, and again absolutely fine. The camera is really light, it's nice looking camera, it's dead easy to use. You see this photo, again that is on the long end of the zoom, and it could be a little bit sharper, but we might be getting a little bit of camera shake there as well, not quite sure. Overcombe Corner again, again, I think this is where I've left this in to demonstrate that some of these long zooms aren't quite as useful as you think they might be. I think the more I've used compact cameras, the more I've come round to the view that fixed focal length can be just, well, I think can be more useful because you can rely on it more, and the quality is in the lens. This is an interesting location. It's right at the start of the Jurassic Coast. This is our Overcombe corner, a point not far from where I went to college actually, and I was quite intrigued by this Bumble and Sea sign and these diagonal line here, and to me this photo is right. I like black and white, and again they always say you shouldn't get your shadow in the photograph, but I quite like putting shadows in photographs because it shows you've been there, and I think it's a subtle way of saying a selfie almost. Bit of a ridiculous shot. I always got annoyed when I was teaching, well I still am teaching, and kids would often take, if you ever went to the coast, they would always take a seagull. Well, here's my seagull. Evening light is always, well, I was going to say evening light is always the best light, but light early in the morning I think is excellent as well. So it's that hour after sunset, before sunset and after sunrise, isn't it? The golden hour, a really good time to take photographs. Again, this camera, not a bad little camera, and as I said, I preferred it to the last ones. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.